Okay, so this isn't gonna be me being real hype or anything, but I want to talk to you guys about this. Well, I don't think it's a new fad or anything like that. It's probably been going on for a long time, but I'm kind of old school, so I'm not up to date what's trending and what's always going on in the world. But I've lately been watching this new thing where uh, there are people who go around calling themselves auditors, and that they are protecting our First Amendment rights, free speech, free choice, freedom of the press, and all this stuff like that. And it sounds good. I'll mention the main people that I'm talking about. There's some guy named Silence Boy, which I'm still trying to figure out what that name means because he talks an awful lot, and he's like he really is like a creeper and a poser, and he just, I mean, he goes, this guy goes, well, let me say the rest of them. Another one is a guy called Auditing America. And I just found out some guy, he's not really too big. His name is Universal TV or something like that. And then we have this one guy called Fake Mike Real News, where he goes around with like some kind of kitchen, um, what do you call it, a egg beater. It's called Demand, and I think his channel is called Demand the Truth or Demand the Truth Now or something like that. Um, there's probably some other ones, but these are the main ones that I've seen. A lot of these guys, they're not out here doing this to really protect your freedom of speech or freedom of press or anything like that. They're doing it to get YouTube. I don't watch enough of them, and I've kind of had it because for someone who really does care about the Constitution and really does care about other people's rights and freedoms and education, these guys are some of the biggest posers in the entire world. And like the silence guy, the silence boy guy, or there's another one, Patrick News Now or News Now Patrick or something like that. They don't go out trying to protect your right, or what they do is they go out and try to do things to get a response so they can get a lot of views on YouTube and they can get money. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy watching the stupidity, and I click on it just to see, just so I can do things like this, which is call them out. And I didn't think I was gonna ever have to do that, but I done saw so much hypocrisy in these guys and so much kind of I mean, just some of the most despicable things. Because you guys know that I'm all about keeping cops in line, and they even have some of the dumbest sheeple followers who think that these guys are really doing this for them, and they don't know anything about actual laws. And what I mean by, I'm not a bootlicker, but I like holding cops accountable. But I don't like when people go out and just harass a cop because they've had a bad experience with the cop, and they feel like whatever bad experience they had, whether they were right or wrong or they were violated or not, whatever, they feel like, if, and I think this is what a lot of their followers think too, or I think this is why they have a lot of followers, because they're in the same boat as these people. They just haven't went and picked up a camera and gone out here and done it, but they are spawning more idiots to go out here and pick up a camera and then just start going and talking crap to cops for no reason. Like this Silence Boy guy, he was just walking by a store one day, saw a bunch of cops sitting in there, goes in there with his camera, starts calling them pigs, starts calling them all this stuff. They're on a lunch break. And again, I'm not sticking up for cops or all cops. I'm just talking about, because you don't just go and pick on somebody because of, that's basically, in my eyes, it's some form of racism. Just like you don't want anybody picking on you because maybe you're Hispanic or maybe you're white or maybe you're black. You don't want anybody picking on you because of that. Picking on somebody just because they're a cop and you don't know them personally is basically the same thing. They're not all cops are bad. Might be a lot of them are bad, the majority of them are bad, but this guy, and then sometimes he'll even go, or he'll even go to sidewalks where people are outside eating. They'll have like tables at, well, I don't know where he's from, but there's a place wherever he's from, I think just about, they have it in my town, like downtown, they have like tables out on the side of the restaurant. It's like right there, kind of on the sidewalk, and he just goes and just puts his phone and just stares at people and expects somebody not to call the cops and expects something. I mean, one time this guy did it, and there was a waitress that got tired of his crap and she was walking by and she did kind of swat at his camera. This clown called the cops on her and said and then cops got there, and because he had it on videotape, the cops didn't even want to arrest the girl or press any charges because they knew it was ridiculous. He said, if she says sorry, I will excuse me, I will forget it and won't press charges, whatever. I mean, it would. And then when this lady who was out here working, doing this thing, when she did that and had to actually come out there, that was the man. This guy is such a coward for doing that, and it really boiled my blood to see that. And that there, and then if you go look in their comment boxes, you'll see all of their sheeple who think these guys are doing justice. But let me tell you something else, though. They're also cowards because they'll talk a big hype about going into a. I put a video in the description box of this video just as an example with actually 3 of them, and one of them is the Universal guy, and one of them, the other one is Auditing America, and then the Man Truth Now guy. They all thought they were big and bad, and they went into this place, and the place had to make you take your temperature, and they had the little thing rule, and you know what rule I'm talking about, where you have to wear one of those things on your faces, which is another divide and conquer tactic. I heard some guy, there's a guy who audits all of them, or goes back and plays their audits, that I just discovered. He's pretty cool. He's got a accent that I just love. Like, it's like one of those New York type accents. I don't know, I'm probably wrong, but it's just a real deep accent. It sounds like somebody from up that way, or Chicago, or I don't know, I'm bad with naming the actual accent of the people, but I mean of different cities and stuff like that. But he goes around and he said something, because he goes through these guys' video, and he said something about the whole mask thing, about how this thing is dividing us as a country and so and so. But it's really not, it is, but what a lot of people don't understand is that was one of the things that it was meant to do, was divide us as a country. It didn't have anything to do with anybody's safety. I don't know why people are still thinking that, but I'm just going to show you. I don't know why. I just wanted to mention that, because I want you all to know that if you wear those things, I truly believe that that is your choice. But you have to understand the hypocrisy of somebody who says, I'm free to make this choice, to walk into this building and make this choice, but then turn around and say somebody else is not free to make the opposite choice, especially when a lot of you might not know this, but this is your own ignorance, and not trying to be mean. Ignorance just means you don't know something. There is no law. You cannot be arrested for it. There's nothing wrong with it. And there are other couples things that I can say about it spreading and doing all this other stuff, but you know how YouTube is. So, but you can't really blame anybody for your ignorance. If you're just going to sit in front of your television set all day and let these people tell you what to believe, the only person that you really can blame for that is yourself. I mean, I'm sorry. I have starting to have a shorter and shorter patience for people who don't know things but repeat what they heard on TV about but what they did with the mandates and with all this stuff. And even after, because I'm a real auditor, I didn't even after I try to show people that was never a thing that they could actually do and demand somebody do that. People still believe that they can do it now, or they can do. It's just, oof. And let me get back to the subject. What I mean by I'm a real auditor is when I was going to do my audits with the whole mask thing, it wasn't. I wasn't going in there looking for trouble. I went into Walmart, and they totally disrespected me, and I noticed that they were ignoring me and treating all the other customers who had one on better. So before I went full blown on them on one of my lives, which is another thing, is ignorant. An ignorant person who doesn't know why I blew up on my first Walmart live doesn't know that before I blew up, because there was a live on my main channel where I blew up but let me tell you why. Because like I said, I'm a real auditor, and I went into about 4 or 5 Walmarts because I started noticing what I just told you, that I was getting treated different. I wanted to make sure. So I had a camera. This is when it was colder, so I had my phone in my pocket where you could actually see everything, because my pocket was like one of those outside jacket pockets, kind of like on your chest area, where they didn't know I was recording. It is like my phone was in there. But I went around for a couple months documenting the discrimination that was going on against me. And it seemed to happen, well, it did happen at every single Walmart. So when I blew up on one of my lives, I said, I was watching some managers or some employees. They were all serving people that came up with one on and just ignoring me. And I walked around them at the electronic center at least like 15 times. And then I pulled my camera out so that they could know that I was recording them while I was walking around them. Then they showed me some attention, and then I said, well, yeah, yes. He said, oh, can I help you, sir? I was like, yes, I've been going around documenting how your company likes to discriminate against massless shoppers. So, and I've been doing it for a couple months now, and I just want to know, this is my live, or I already said that a million times. I just want to know, can I get some service? And then when I put my phone on the counter and the employees all saw that I was live on YouTube, then they want to scatter and help me and so and so. So that was my thing. And then I went around to all businesses just to show people that I don't care if you want to wear one. This is one thing, because the way that I talk, people might think that I'm so against them and I hate them because they wear something. But the whole point of that was to show people that I am not against them, and that if you don't know the law, you shouldn't be telling somebody something is law just based on what your TV told you. And I'm also proving a point that even the businesses and the police know that there is no law and there's nothing they can do about it. And there's no such thing as trespassing because you go in there and don't follow one of their policies. That is not true. They can't take your temperature. They can't, well, like actual legally, they can through their little policies or whatever, but they can't do any of that stuff. And my whole thing was to express to you guys, I don't understand how you call yourselves Americans and then sit here and deny us our rights to when we are in the right about something like that. So that was my little auditor story, or the whole reason why I did it. So matter of fact, I think that was, yeah, it had frustrated me so much that I was going through all this trouble. I mean, I was even going to Walmart and would go in there and ask them for something. And then they would say no. And then I would go literally right in the parking lot and call them and ask them if they had the same item. And they said yes. But anyway, so I just wanted to clear that up with you guys, let you know I'm not against you, but you have to understand there is no somebody has to do something because you want them to do something here in America. Or because you think, whatever you think about them doing, it's just ridiculous. And I don't understand how you can't see how ridiculous that is. It isn't me against you, or I'm an anti-masker or whatever like that, because I'm not. I'm just, I don't even want to say pro-freedom, because, you know, I'm just a true American, let's put it like that, who truly believes in freedom. And I feel like it's hypocrisy for some of the things that a lot of you guys are doing out there today. So it doesn't, so when I talk and I'm frustrated about that subject, because I went through a lot with it, and it seems like people still haven't learned. But anyway, so these auditors, they're so cowardly that even when they are in the right, like they'll go into, this is why I said you have to be willing to be arrested and fight out in court and make sure you document everything that happens to you whenever you do stuff like this. Or if you do anything you're being denied, you have to document things from beginning to the end, even if you got to keep a notebook. Friendly advice, not a lawyer, just saying. I was watching these guys. I've been watching them for the last couple of weeks now. That's why I haven't been, well, I've been posting a little bit, but not as much as usual, because I'm really waiting for my strikes to be up so I can go back to the Cooper channel. But I kind of just been chilling, man. Like I was just drained and stuff. So I just, you know, got into watching all of them. And they would say things, you know, they just talk a big game, and they out there for the Constitution, and they all, I don't even think really they read it. I think they only read the First Amendment. That's it. And they've also, a lot of these guys are spinoffs from other people who started doing it, and then they figured out, you know, you could generate, depending on the title, depending on what happens in the video, you can generate a lot of views. But they go out looking for trouble. I mean, they'll go out who does an audit in the middle of the night in some random neighborhood. This is the Patrick guy, and with a flashlight, and looks through people's cars and stuff like that, or shines it. You know what I'm saying? What neighborhood would not want to call the cops on you? This guy did this. Cops came out there, and they said they didn't have any, the cops didn't have any proof about them committing the crime. They couldn't ID them, but they did, because they had probable cause. Because probable cause means that any reasonable person, if they see somebody doing something, whatever the act they see they're doing, it's considered probable cause, because if any reasonable person would look at that act and say this person is committing a crime, about to commit a crime, or something else, can't really remember the definition, but look it up. when you are looking through people's cars at night and going through with a flashlight and stuff, that is probable cause and suspicious activity right there, because that's what a lot of people do right before they're about to commit a crime. So, or if they're casing something to commit a crime. But these guys did it just to go out there and get a reaction so they could get views, get likes and stuff. And then they'll start asking their subscribers to bail them out. And they're already making money off the views and stuff, I think. And then they'll ask them to bail them out for their court fines. That's if any of them are really willing to go to court. Some of them will ask their subscribers because they weren't, they didn't think that they were really going to get arrested for something they did, and then their mouth got them in too much trouble. So when they did get arrested, they didn't have the money to pay the stuff, so they would go beg their subscribers or whatever. But when they are confronted, like if they go to a postal office or something like that, when they are actually confronted by the police, and this is what's so funny about these guys, a lot of the times they are actually right. And there's some of you probably listening now who know them or know of them, and when you go and watch them, you think that they're not right, and they're not, they're out of control, they're doing all these things that they're really not doing. Technically, they are right. But this is what makes them cowards, though. Even when they are right and they refuse the ID and stuff like that, once the cops get in their face or start grabbing them and telling them to put their hands behind their back and all this stuff, they fold up. That, like, in the audit that I'm going to put in the link that I'm going to put in the description box, you're going to see the opening of one of the guys is a big loudmouth, and he's like introducing, "What's up, y'all? I'm Fake Mike Real News," and stuff like that. He didn't say anything the whole time that they went into this place and audited, even though they were in the right and stuff like that. Because these guys, again, are only in it for the YouTube fame and whatever they believe comes with it. So, my advice to the people out here who might run into some of these guys, not the people who they actually go in and audit. I don't know if anybody's going to hear this or whatever, but if you can, somebody who you think might end up in this situation and they're running into one of these clowns, the best way you can handle these clowns is don't say anything to them. Give them the silent treatment. Don't say not one word to them, because then they're going to go around and fish around. Like if they can't get a reaction out of the employees, I've seen it before. I've seen them do this. If they can't get a reaction out of an employee, they'll go around and start messing with the customers in the store and start like filming the customers, and then start walking like circles around them and stuff and putting the camera on their face so they can get a reaction and get a problem. And they say, "Oh, she's a Karen and she's this and she's that." Or they go to airports and just sit here and just like literally stand in front of somebody with their camera on them, like with their arms stretched out or on a stick, where the person, everybody and their mama has to know what they're recording because they're aiming it right at the person. They're not doing that to protect your rights, freedom, or to bring awareness to all of this stuff. They are doing it for people's reaction, for views, for money, for YouTube celebrity fame, or whatever you want to call it. And my advice, that's why I say my advice to anybody, person, employees of places, or just customers of places, you give them power when you react and do all that stuff. Just ignore these clowns, because if you don't ignore them, they're going to keep on saying what they can to get a rise out of you and get a rise out of you, and then they're going to post it on YouTube and say that try to make you look bad. And even if you clown them or you made them look stupid, they're just going to edit the video so nobody even really knows what happens. That's why a lot of them don't go live, because if it goes wrong, they're not going to know what to do. And when they do go live, it's just their little talks or whatever. They won't do it on audits. So, what else did I have to say about that? Because I hate saying all the stuff that I want to say in one of their comment sections, their stupid sheeple and all that stuff. So, like, that's why I like having this little talk show thing. So, because some people might not even know what the hell I'm talking about. But there's certain things when I see going on in the world, I have to get it off my chest and I have to talk about it, because this is the only way I can do it, and not have to worry about, the comment getting deleted, or me getting into a fight, or somebody who doesn't know, literally does not know what they're talking about, and just things like that. A simple solution would be to ignore these guys. And if you watch them and all stuff, I'm not saying don't watch them anymore or whatever, but I'm just letting you know that a lot of them are really not in it to help you. They're in it just for your entertainment, and just so they can, they like hearing themselves talk. They like seeing themselves on YouTube. They like people talking about them, and talking about how many views they have, and they want people to notice them whenever they're out in public and stuff. And it's just very, very pathetic that they have to go out and pick on law enforcement officers and pedestrians and United States employees and or U.S. citizens, U.S. cops, all that stuff, and then try to say that they're doing it to help defend America and to bring awareness to the amendments in America and to make sure you know all about your rights and all those other things. It gets so played out, they'll even start going to churches. But these people are not teaching you about no constitutional rights. I'll leave a link in the description box to the Constitution, and if you want to get, if you really want to learn about it, you don't have to listen to these clowns. Anything in this world, or watch these clowns, anything in this world you want to learn about, you can learn about it yourself. You don't have to just need a quick fix on YouTube. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer. You might have to take a couple hours actually reading some things and all that stuff. But these are the type of things you can find out on your own and empower yourself, instead of letting some imposter, wannabe American patriot, empower you. What else did I want to say about this subject? If you don't believe me, I'll leave a link into the description box. First is going to be the link of how they fold, how they go do their little audit, and as soon as even if their rights are violated, they fold instead of actually following through with it. I'm also going to leave links to all of their YouTube channels so you can go see something for yourself, because a lot of people like that, like if one of their sheeple or themselves hear this, they're going to try to say all of these things and just expect you to believe them. That's what a lot of people do in this world about any subject. I never want you to do that when it comes to whatever I say, whatever I do. Never, ever am I asking you for that. Even if I'm passionate about it, doesn't mean I'm trying to say this is what you have to believe. That's just the way I am, and from what I've learned and stuff. But I don't want you to think that is the way that it is, and that's the way the world works, and I know everything, because you have to go search these things out for yourself. So I'm gonna leave a couple of links actually in the description box. I'm gonna start doing that more often, where I leave links in the description box to lead you to more things that you can actually like read, or things that are gonna prove my points, or if not prove them to you, at least let you get a better understanding of the points that I'm talking about. But yeah, it's like a trend now. A lot of people are doing it. A lot of people are going to keep on doing it, and that's why I gotta try to warn as many people as I can on all of my channels when I get a chance, or my numbers rise, enough where I can be like on their status and stuff. Because a lot of them, they take out the trash. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why my phone just popped up and said, "Take out the trash." Is that a text message? I don't even live in a house. How the hell am I take out the trash? Yeah, that kind of threw me off. In the middle of my damn thought process and talking, that just threw me off. A lot of, I said, what else I talking about? I was talking about the links in the description box. Oh yeah, and how I'm gonna start doing that a lot more, because I want you to go and look at these things for yourself. You might come to a different understanding. And I'll leave you the link to the guy that or a guy that I know. There's a couple of them, calling them out. Or actually, I'll just tell you just if you want to see the other people who are confirming this and stuff like that, and how they like lie and fake and edit their stuff, just go to type in any of the names of the channels that I'm gonna give you in the description box and type fraud after it, or a liar, or exposed, or whatever. So I'm being fair. I'm giving you the links first to all of their channels and stuff, and then to see if you can see whatever you want to, whatever you think you're going to end up seeing, or whatever you do see. And then I'm gonna give you and then I want you to go and look up all of their names, and then put just, fraud or exposed or whatever, and you'll see I'm not the only one saying this. But the main reason why I'm saying is because we don't have time to. There's no time to waste on fake people who act like they're trying to help our country, and act like they're trying to, do something to rise awareness, and trying to do something so everybody knows their rights and stuff like that. We don't have time to be dealing with fake people who are going around doing that. We have to deal with we should, in my opinion, all stuff is in my opinion, we should be dealing with the real people who are actually out there doing that. I'm not saying, I still watch them just to laugh and see how, stupid they look and how hypocritical and cowardly they look when they act like they're big and bad, and then they end up folding when faced with like somebody who they think is gonna, like a cop that's actually gonna arrest them, or somebody they think is actually gonna beat them up. You can see that they're not as American or Mr. American and all this other stuff as they claim to be. We don't have time for believing people like that. Oh yeah, and the reason why I'm saying that is because these people are, the reason why I'm saying it's better to not deal with the fake people is because, I mean, the reason why I said we shouldn't be dealing with them and all of this stuff, because not only are they going to mislead you, they're going to have you out here harassing cops for no reason, hating cops for no reason. I mean, cops do give you a reason. A lot of them give you a reason to hate them and stuff, but not all of them is what I'm saying. And they're going to have you out there doing more destruction to the Constitution than they are bringing awareness to the One Amendment. They can do all the other ones, but they're just out there doing that One Amendment. It's because they haven't read into it. They only know what they heard other YouTubers say that they've copied off of. So they know what to say if a cop says something, certain things. Like if a cop say you're free to go, then they'll say, "Oh, I'm free to stay." But I'm not saying that they're not. But I've heard the auditors who came out before them, that I've heard them say that way before these guys, and I truly believe they don't read and they at all. So the only thing they do is listen to, again, YouTube, instead of actually going and reading the Constitution or reading all the other things. Because I mean, you can do audits involving a lot of the amendments, but we don't. These people are in it for themselves, is what I'm trying to say. Let's put it like that. They're not in it to educate you. They're not in it to bring awareness to something. They're not into any of the things. They're in it for the glory, for the attention, for the cult following. And I don't even know what to say about their misguided sheep who actually believe these clowns and don't know nothing and think that they're all American, and get in their little comment section and root them on and talk about how the employee was wrong or somebody else was wrong when these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. I mean, it's just pathetic. And then these are usually the ones who end up going out and trying to do the same thing and making things worse for, yeah, that's another thing. Not only they're making it worse for people out here just trying to enjoy themselves, they're helping to waste our taxpayers' dollars by having a cop come out to every single audit. And it's like every single day they have cops come out. They're wasting our money. They're wasting our time. And they're acting like it's all for us, but it's all about them, is what I'm saying. But anyway, I'm going to close with the same thing I always close with. I have a ministry I'm trying to get off the ground. Actually, it's like a gym, tumbling gym type thing. But the ministry is going to be with the youth. And I have a GoFundMe set up for it. And I know it's not, and I know the amount seems high, but a lot of people don't understand gymnastics equipment and building and rent and all that stuff is not cheap. Like a gymnastics floor or a chair floor or anything like that, it's like almost 10,000, or it's probably more than that by now. Back in the day, I know back in the day when I was actually in it, like big time coaching athlete. Now I guess I'm still both, but it was about that. It probably went up. So $50,000 is the goal, but it most likely it's gonna take me more than that. So I have to I don't know, figure out the pricing of how I'm going to charge people and all this stuff. But my ministry part is going to be free for the youth. But I know people they're gonna see that price and they're gonna think, oh, it's so high and so high, but it's not as high as you think it is, especially with the devaluation of our money and all that stuff. Everything's going up, and then but yet the price of things is going up, but the price we're getting and for our actual money is going down. The value of it. So if you want to support me, because I'm not like these guys and trying to say you have to. That's another thing. I'm not saying that they say that, but some people, they get mad because they think I'm saying you have to. What I'm saying is, if you want to, and if you're from my other channels and you're from and you listen to my lives and everything like that, you know that when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it, and that I'm not a liar. So it's not too, because some of you guys have been with me for 8 years on when I first started on Facebook with the Cooper work or whatever. So I mean, I'm still the same guy that's been there for 8 years. You know, I ain't never changed. I've always been talking like this, and I'm gonna continue to be me and talking like this and trying to, educate people, really educate people until the day that I die. So if you want to help out, if you want to really, really help out a cause that's going to help I believe, the entire world, but starting with the youth, that GoFundMe is always going to be there in the description box at like the end, for those who would like to help me out, because I'm not going to get no funding from anybody. When I get paid cash every Friday. Also, that's another thing. I'm saving up my money to put onto that. So nobody's going to fund me. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't have an actual proof of insurance, or I don't even know if you really need that. But a lot of people are not going to fund me because of my line of work and how I get paid. So another thing is, I found it so crazy how these guys could get the amount of money in donations that I'm talking about in like 2 days, if they really wanted to. Probably, I don't know, but because they have a lot of silly people who would donate to this just because they want to see that, they want to see them mess with the cops, they want to see just all this immature stuff, so they'll gladly do it. But like, no matter how many subscribers I have, if I ask for support, and even if they can't support, share it to somebody who they think might would like this support. Get me in contact with people who might want to actually help me, because I definitely need somebody to work the front desk. I definitely need or would like to have some kind of gymnastics or cheer mom that is willing to come into the facility. All of us have meetings and just conduct a real business, and not like a fake scam artist business, to actually give back to my community, but it basically, because that's the nearest around me. But the ultimate goal is to give back to the world, because they don't have a lot of people that are going to be telling children the things that I'm going to be telling them. And it's not going to be, of course, nothing like how I talk to you guys. But when it comes to the ministry part, I really want children to understand the importance of chores again, and the importance of yes ma'am, no ma'am again, or yes sir, no sir again, the importance of not talking back, because there is some kind of two crazy types of generations going on right now. One is not only the youth, it is the older, not picking on anybody who's older. I'm saying the majority. If you're not talking about you, I mean, if you don't think it applies to you, then this shouldn't hurt your feelings. But a lot of the majority of the older people are letting them get away with it, and then giving them anything they want. Give them a cell phone at age 1 month old, and giving them a car at 18 or 15. They can't even drive it till they're 18 or whenever, or 3 years before they can get their license and stuff. And it's just, not saying they don't have a right to do that, but I'm saying like there's just a real spoiled generation today. And in my area, there's a lot of people, or across the bridge, there's a lot of kids in like the projects and things like that, places where I went to, and like my old stomping grounds, who don't have anything like this, or have anybody who's gonna say, nobody else ain't gonna do it. I'll rent a van, or have a company van and come pick you up every single day, bring you back, or have some type of thing where you can come after school and then drop you off right back to your house, or to where you're staying at. Because a lot of people don't understand that it's these children, the type of children I'm talking about now in the projects and stuff, their parents don't care to do that stuff. Even if you could tell them it was free for some reason. I'm not saying all of them again, but the majority of them, they would not care. I don't know what it is, or how heartless you got to be, or what you went through to, not care like that. But So that's how I know a lot of them won't care if I come pick them up. First, show the parents and everything what they're going to be doing and where they're going to be at and stuff. But if somebody actually goes and picks them up and then drops them off, because it needs to be done. Like these for this youth around my general area. If not, it's all hell's gonna break loose worse than it is now with all these shootings across the bridge and people fight gang wars and all this other stuff. It's just, I mean, they're talking about you can't go down. There's certain places you can't go, for what I heard anyway, wearing blue or wearing red, because it's just like a whole bunch of gang violence and, shootings, and it's just ridiculous stuff that they need to get away from. And know that there's something bigger and better in life, and not just to be sitting like one of the old heads on the block 24/7, just looking at the old head and thinking this is all that's going to be me one day, or this is the only life I'm going to have. Like, that's sad. If they don't have a group, if we don't have some type of group or some type of ministry that protects them from that by empowering them the right way, then this isn't just them in this area. I'm talking about, because I want to travel and pick up others too, like them. Then we're going to slip even further into a state of chaos, and it's not going to make any sense. It's going to be worse than it was before. Like Tupac said, the hate you give little infants F's everybody. That's thug life. And it just amazes me today, you can't get help from people who claim, they want to help. I'm not down on anybody for not donating or anything, but what I'm saying is it's just amazing how quick that other people can get support from, or, for what they're doing when they're doing things like these frauditors that I've been talking about. It's just amazing how quick they can get some kind of support. But in this world, when you're actually really, really trying to do something good, you just can't get any support. So that's the reason why I talk about it, because there's no telling if, just maybe there's a lot of people who haven't heard me talking about this. So if I at least close with it, so every single video, and give people a total understanding of what this all is and what I'm actually doing, and that can get the word out there more for support. I would like to also make this kind of like a Kaji's 2 headquarters. For everybody who's really, collabing with me, so when they come down here, they don't know where to go. They can sleep there too if we have like a meeting or something, because that's just the way that the ministry I was in, that's the way we did things. And I feel like that's a good way to connect, you know what I'm saying? And, you ain't got to get a hotel. We're chilling at the gym in the foam pit. Got a flat screen TV up there. Well, we got a kitchen over here, whatever. I'm not saying we are going to have all of that, but, what's the use of you going to spend money when we got a whole headquarters right here? People can sleep on trampoline. You can do, you know what I mean? Like, because people don't talk, and people don't bond, and people just don't do the things that they used to do. Like, I'm right across the street from where I grew up, and it's just, I remember when we were jump off ladders, rollerblade, basketball, trampoline, and all that stuff. And it's like, the new generation today, they are not interested in that stuff. It's like they're literally hooked to these electronics in there, which a lot of us, just about all of us are. But them, since they're so young and more, you be able to influence them more, they're all stuck on it, almost as if it's crack cocaine. And by doing that, they're missing so many values, life lessons, memorable moments, and all that stuff, that the true things that matter in life, they're missing all of that stuff. They're going to bypass all of that stuff unless we bring back some kind of organization that instills those values in them and gets them to understand, and if not understand, but see how blessed they are compared to, or see how much of a blessing those things are compared to what everybody think is a blessing just because it's trending. I hope you can understand that. So that is why I do have support. I used to never do it, especially on my lives. And I only did it probably on, like, out of all my videos I made of just me talking, I think I've only done it on these, like 1 or 2 of these. Never on my other ones. And I've done a lot of lives. So that's what I want a lot of people to know, that it's not about the money. It doesn't have anything to do about the money. What I mean by that is me doing it so I can go buy a jet ski or buy something like that. I want you to understand the importance of what the money is for, or the donation is for, whatever you want to call it. Because we got a world to rebuild right now, and it has to start with the youth. And if it doesn't, then the world is doomed. They are the only ones who can save us as in a whole, like humans, like a whole human species. They are the only ones because they are the future.